Welcome to the Untitled Podcast, everybody.
Hello and welcome back to the Untitled Podcast, everybody. Glad to be back with y'all today. Got a lot of stuff going on. Big news, first and foremost, we will be going to a Cardinals game. About to go check out the Cardinals-Dodgers tonight. Which we're going to kind of talk about the past two games have been fucking wild. They've been wild, all right? These last two games have been fucking nuts. 7-6 on both scores. We're going to dive into a little bit more, kind of break it down. Hopefully we're going to get another good game tonight, because it should be a good one. We'll just who's gonna win that series. It's tied 1-1. They're both taking it. Both teams are taking it 1-1. Then we got some more of the top five. We're not to the top five yet. We are getting down to, we're getting close. Next episode will be top 7. We're doing the power rankings. This is where it gets down to the nitty gritty. We'll be in the top 10. We're going to do 12 through 8 and then 7 down all the way to 1 on the next one. So we're kind of wrapping that ball up. It'll be interesting to see who's at the cream of the crop, top of the top going into this season, and give you my thoughts on that perspective. And the first thing I want to kind of lead into and touch base with, still continue on this NBA free agency. There was an interesting signing that I did want to talk about too. In a trade, it looks like KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, is going to extend. He's actually going to extend, and he's going to stay with Denver, which is interesting because they're adding some more pieces now. We're going to start taking Denver serious. We haven't been able to take Denver serious because the Nuggets a couple years back, when they had gotten in, they were young, and they were kind of surprising. And, man, Jamal Murray was doing a lot with them guys, and he was balling out, and they looked really good. Was that maybe even the bubble when they first – it might even have been the bubble when they first started popping off. But the way they're going, man, they're moving in the right place. Last year, they were riddled with injuries. You know, they got into – it was just the Joker MVP by himself in the playoffs. So, I mean, you can only imagine what them guys could have done in the West. It would have been a lot tougher West. Especially if, we don't know how Golden State would have gotten there if the Nuggets had been healthy. I would have liked the Nuggets. A healthy Nuggets team was really good. I think they were a tier above Utah, who seemed like they were getting in the playoffs, but it was almost a stalemate. You know, that whole Utah experiment that they had going with Rudy, and now they're kind of breaking it up. And interesting enough, well, I also want to talk about this too, is it interesting, seems like Utah's fielding offers now, they shipped off Rudy, but to Minnesota, now they're talking about possibly flipping him, Donovan Mitchell. So they might go full rebuild. And Donovan Mitchell, I think, is an easier trade to get done, just because of the way he's viewed, as far as some of these bigger ones like Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I think a Donovan Mitchell trade's a little bit easier because it's come out, a lot of reports have come out, execs don't know if Donovan Mitchell's yet that guy. I think he is the guy. I don't know if he's definitely, he can lead your team, but he needs complementary pieces around him, just like any star. He's not, the problem is with these stars moving, is we tend to view them in a scale of LeBron James. And this is what makes LeBron James such a great player, is because everywhere LeBron James has gone, he went to Miami, balled out and won 2 rings. Came back to Cleveland. Got him a championship like he said. Anywhere that dude goes, he's in the finals. How many years in a row was he in the finals? Was it 10 years he's in the finals? I mean, this dude, that's why I don't like Kevin Durant being thrown in the mix. Kevin Durant's a great player. But he shouldn't be thrown in the mix either with the likes of LeBron. Because not everybody's a LeBron, and it's not like it's a knock on these guys. Nobody's a LeBron. It's just LeBron's that good, and a lot of people like to hate on LeBron. I think that hatred just comes from how great he really is, and no one likes to see the same guy doing the same thing over and over again, being so dominant. But to me, that's what it is. I think that's why Donovan Mitchell trade gets done a little bit easier, because you don't have to give up. Teams aren't going to have to break up their entire rosters. They're going to have to cut some pieces out to make the trade happen, probably some draft picks. But to me, it seems like an easier trade to get done than a Kevin Durant, Kyrie. I think Kyrie wants to stay opting in. He wants to stay, but it seems now that Durant is not about it. I wonder, to me, what this smells like, I smell the writing on the wall. I think both these guys stay at this point. I think we've gotten so unraveled. It was a big story, and I think nothing gets done, and they run it back. To be honest, they bring back their pieces, and Durant. We get a full season of Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. And what's wrong with that? I don't know why these guys are quick to move off of this. I don't know why KD's leaving this situation, because I'm hearing he's going to go back to Golden State now. They're talking to Curry. Would he be okay with it? And that move that don't seem like the move. Golden State seems like they're up. They got things figured out to me. They just come off winning the national championship. They just come off winning the NBA Finals. The roster's still pretty good. They have a mix of young and old. Wiseman's going to be coming back. He's going to be looking good. Kuminga's taking a step forward. I mean, these guys are going to be... I don't know where KD fits in that. You're going to move off some of these young guys to get KD? Didn't you already do that? The only way it would make sense for me, and I don't think Golden State would do it just from a loyalty standpoint, from a business standpoint, because I'm not a Warriors fan. I know Warriors fans don't want to hear this. If it was me, I'd try to come up off Clay if I'm going to make that trade. I would lead in with Clay, a draft pick, and maybe you have to give up Kuminga. Maybe that's all you can't get rid of Wiseman, because they're too small to get rid of Wiseman. They need that height. Minnesota next year, Gobert and Cat, gonna be tough. So what I like to see from that is I think KD should stay, man. And to me, stay. If you like Kyrie, if that relationship's still there, run it back with Kyrie. If you have no beef with Ben Simmons, what's the issue with running Ben Simmons? You got a solid roster. I'm not the big time Ben Simmons fan, but I think you can make it work. Where are you going to go that you're not going to tear apart a team and then it's just going to be you and maybe one other guy? Phoenix. Who's that team's getting tore up. You get to keep Booker. Right? Would Booker be on the table for that trade? I don't know. Probably not. No, they're not getting rid of Booker. But okay, so KD and Booker and then vet men guys. I mean, that's the problem. These guys get these big max deals. You get 5 max deals guys on here, and it's just obnoxious. And obviously not going to get 5, but I think where he's at is where he needs to be. But it's just him moving and doing all this. It puts a bad stink on him. And then he's on social media going on and on about it. It's like, dude, you're not going to win the heart. Stay off. Why are you online? Why are you on there giving them satisfaction? Why bother? Why feed into that? It's not. You're never gonna win that situation. So, but that's just KD, and that's just who he is, and that's how he operates. It's his MO. So, just kind of gotta roll with the punches. You gotta know what you're gonna get. But I don't see him coming to Miami. I don't see it. I could see us getting Donovan Mitchell, because if we get in the mix for KD, that's easily Tyler Hero for sure. Who else would they want? I mean, what would you have to come off of? A lot of the younger core, the Caleb Martins, the Max Strusey, he'd have to probably go. I don't know. I don't like us breaking up. I think Miami's going to have to. They need to retool. I like to see them go after Donovan Mitchell. I heard something about maybe them linked to Donovan Mitchell early on. I like that play. I really do. I think that's a good play, because Jimmy likes to get in his moments where he likes to be off the ball. He reminds me of Jimmy Butler, how they play. They will be the guy to score. But a lot of times Jimmy will fall back and we get on Jimmy. Hey, you gotta be aggressive, And then he gets those games where he goes for 40 points. But for the most part, they play kind of the same role. So I could see it working, because one could go off and the other one comes on. The other one goes off and the other one comes on. I could see that working. I like that a lot. So it would definitely be interesting. I don't know where else Donovan Mitchell would be really. Where could he go? I don't see him with the Suns. So, see, that would be a tough situation. Where else are you going to get him? But teams got to make moves, man. These teams don't want to compete. Miami's going to have to make moves. They can't just go back at it, because Boston's not just going back at it. They went and got Malcolm Brogdon, a move I did like. I don't know if we talked about that on here. I don't think we did. But the Malcolm Brogdon move by Boston, good God, dude, their bench is going to be nasty. The bench they were already a deep team. So Boston's, to me, at this point, Boston's the number one in the East going forward. That's just my opinion. West is a shootout, man. I don't know what to expect from the West. To be honest with you, I really don't know what to expect from that side of the ball. It's going to be interesting to see. But I don't know. With all this trade stuff going on, to me, the best move for KD, stay. I like to see Donovan Mitchell get out of Utah now that roster's just plunked and picked apart. I like to see him go. I like to see him come down to South Beach. It's an attractive place to get guys. That's why we're always in the mixer, guys, 'cause it's a good place. You know, the no sales, the tax, no tax, state tax, and all that. So there's benefits, the weather. So we have the ability to linger, guys. Pat Riley's been a beast. You know, the culture down there. There's only certain guys who are going to fit in Miami, though. That culture. Jimmy was the man. He was the man to fit in there, like a Joel Embiid, a Giannis, those guys, those type of guys that just are after it. That's why I don't think KD fits with us, man. He's not our type of guy in South Beach. He's just not. I'm not trying to poke fun at the bear, but that soft shit he comes out sometimes is can't have it. And KD's a dog, man. KD's a killer. I'd love to have him on our team. Are you kidding? But I just don't think he fits that Miami Heat culture. The way throughout his career, I'm not saying he's not but it's more of like the chatter. He lets that chatter get to him. Down in Miami, we don't do that. It's us against the world. That's how Miami is. And if he could buy into it, maybe, but it'd be a learning experience. That'd be something KD would have to learn about. So there's a lot of moves, a lot of teams that got to retool. Like I said, I love what Boston did. Malcolm Brogdon move was solid. A lot of good stuff. The West, there's just a lot of good teams trying to make moves. You know, like I said already, now the Nuggets making a move. I like it. Nothing splashy though. Nothing like whoa. They're not trying to get Kevin Durant or anything like that. But they know what they're doing. They're making good, solid moves. A lot of teams in the West got to continue to do that. We'll see what comes out of this when all said and done. When the dust settles, we'll see where KD comes out of. If he's in New Jersey or not. Hell to me, like I said, run it back. What's wrong with that Nets roster? I don't get what's wrong with that Nets roster. But you make it work. We're going to have to make it work. All right, so power rankings. Here we are, folks. I'm about to wrap this thing up. I'm about to wrap these power rankings up now. So we'll recap the last episodes where we left off. So we did 17 through 13. I had the Saints at 17, Eagles 16, Cowboys 15, Broncos 14, Colts 13. So we're starting off at 12. I got the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. I got them at 12. I think they have potential to grow. Once the season gets going, I like to see what they got. Derek Carr, undeniable quarterback, top 10 quarterback all day. No one gives. I feel like he doesn't get respect. I think this is the year we put respect. This is going to be the year everyone bandwagons on Derek Carr. So, like, they almost did it the year he took them to the playoffs. Remember that? Was that his rookie year? Rookie year, second year, he took the Raiders to the playoffs and then got hurt and didn't get to play in the playoff game. And everyone was getting ready to jump on that bandwagon when he was doing that. And so I think we're getting ready to jump on the Derek Carr bandwagon. I think it's coming around now that he's got Devontae Adams, one of the best overall receivers. Hunter Renfrow, one of the best route technicians in the game. Demarcus Robinson, Darren Waller, one of the best overall tight ends in the game. A lot of weapons. Josh Jacobs, just a big, beefy bruiser back in the backfield with Kenyon Drake, Zamir White they brought in. Offensive line, they're revamping with Alex Leatherwood and some pieces that they're bringing in. They're going to get that thing going. I think he's slated to start that right tackle position. He ready to take that thing over. Colton Miller and them guys, they got a solid offensive line. Not the best, not by any means. But they worked to improve that offensive line. So I give them credit for that. I think they're going to be pretty good. Defensively, they look awesome. what they've slowly been starting to do. I really like what they're starting to do. They brought in Gosselin, Trevin Moehrig, one of the best young safeties coming out. They took a lot of flyers on a guy at receiver at corners. They're really deep on corners. They brought in some vet guys, Sue Crevion LeBlanc, veteran guy that's been around that could help that group. Jonathan Abram, one of the young, hard-hitting safeties. He's a beast. Max Crosby on the line. They've really tried to get this offensive line going. They've been bringing in a lot of pieces. Clinton Farrell out of Clemson they drafted a few years ago never amounted to what they wanted to. But then they brought in Chandler Jones. So the draft wasn't working. They went and signed Chandler Jones, a known commodity, coming off I want to believe 16. No, that might have been the year before. So 10.5, 6 forced fumbles last year. You're getting a solid player there to help go alongside with Max Crosby. So that's going to be good, which you got to get pressure on the quarterback, especially in that division. This league, but in that division, especially with the quarterbacks and what they got, got to do it. Got to be able to do that in that division. So I got Raiders at 12. They should be good. They should look good. I think they have a chance to really do some damage. It's going to be interesting in that division, though. So we'll see what comes of it. So sliding into 11, I have the Baltimore Ravens coming in at 11. They just got to get a healthy Lamar Jackson. They're a great team. They go as far as Lamar goes, though. We've seen that last year. They really slid once Lamar went out and Tyler Huntley was it Tyler Huntley? Yeah, it's Tyler Huntley. Sorry, they have Brett Hundley as well. So they have Tyler Huntley. They have Tyler Huntley and Brett Hundley. It was Tyler Huntley they had last year. He was filling in. Some moves they made at the receiving core. They're trying to get the receiving core right, get some weapons for Lamar. They've got a bunch of young guys. To me, the Ravens receiving core is one of the most exciting receiving cores because they're just a bunch of young guys that all could really take a step forward at any moment. James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, Rashad Bateman, Tylen Wallace. They are so deep, but it's all young guys. They don't have any proven commodities, especially now they traded Hollywood Brown. Mark Andrews, another solid weapon. Love that move there of having him as one of the best tight ends in the league. Offensive line, really gotten that thing going. Tyler Linderbaum is a good pick. Morgan Moses, Ronnie Staley, they're good. They get Kevin Zeitler, really good offensive line. Because this team, they're going to run the ball. We know what's funny is with Baltimore, you know what Baltimore's going to do, and they don't care. It's like we're going to run the ball. That's what we do, and teams know it. They can't stop it. But defensively, they've done really good. I like the pick of Kyle Hamilton, bringing in him with Marcus Williams, Marcus Peters, and Marlon Humphrey. Outstanding DB room in just with vets, young guys. Outstanding DB room in Baltimore. Defensively, they're great. Patrick Queen. There's just so many guys. Michael Pierce they brought back. Calais Campbell's running it back. So a lot of guys I really like. I like this squad. It's just for them. It's just keeping Lamar healthy, and they'll get that contract situation figured out. I ain't too worried about that. But yeah, that's where I would put them there. Interesting enough, I would have them there. And what's interesting to me also, I think, is a little surprise here at 10. We're now cracking the top 10. And this might come as a surprise to some. I don't know. I don't know. People think this might be a little high, but we'll see. I got the 49ers at 10, knocking out the top 10, just above the Raiders and Ravens. And I know I just gassed up all those teams, but man, 49ers, the only issue I have with the 49ers, and this could come back to bite me, right? They could slide all the way down, or they could skyrocket up, or they could stay middle of the pack. We don't know. It's the Trey Lance question mark. We got to see what Trey Lance can do. because right now this team's ready to win. This 49ers team's ready to win. Top to bottom, they're great. Defensively, they got a lot of pieces. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, Manuel Mosley, Javius Ward, D Ford, Javon Kinlaw, Reek Arms. I mean, their defensive line is ridiculous. They have one of the best, I mean, just simply ridiculous defensive line. One of the best, one of the best defenses, period. I think going into this season, one of the better defenses. Their back end's going to be a little bit more shakier than the front seven. But man, the front seven, you're not going to do much because they're going to be getting after it. Them boys are going to be getting after it. If Trey Lance can ball out, San Francisco's going to hold this 10 spot. It's going to make sense. They might even rise a little bit. George Kittle, one of the great tight ends in this league. They got a solid offensive line. They did lose Alex Mack in the center position, but they did draft some pieces to slide in there and hopefully make things work. I just, the Deebo Samuel deal, that's where I get hung up on as well. I think they get it done. They're not going to let him go. They'd be fools to let it go. They just got to work out the kinks, get it right. But really, Trey Lance, man, that's where my question mark is, and that's why it was kind of hard to put them, because do I put them low? But man, the roster's really good, but also in a tough division. I don't know. So it's hard. It was hard for me. It was hard for me, to be honest. But I got them. I got them rocking out at 10. I think they're gonna be all right there with that move. So that's the question mark. We'll see what happens. Getting into now number 9. I got the Miami Dolphins. I'm a little bit higher on the Miami Dolphins than I think most people are going into this season. I'm not a big Tua critic, man. I think you got to let this guy grow and develop and get his own thing. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not, he's not all these other guys. Stop this endless conversation we have about quarterbacks, and if they're not good in 1 year, then get them the hell out and get them in a different fucking league. You're gonna ship them down. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you mean? Let this thing. Let's see what this thing does. I want to see what this thing does. We got offensive-minded coach down there now. With Tua, you bring in Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. That's a nasty 1-2 punch. You got a solid running back room with Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel. Offensive line they've been drafting for a few years since Brian Flores got there. They were drafting. They brought in Teron Armstead to bolster that left tackle. They got Eichenberg, Connor Williams. I mean, solid. They're solid. Defensively, well, that's all Brian Flores was going, offensive line and defense. Well, got their defense ready to go. Xavier Howard, one of the best corners. And you got Byron Jones, Javon Holland at safety. Solid defensive pieces, man. This team is this team's going to do some stuff. So I think this is a team to watch out. They're going to be sneaky good. Everyone's going to be focused on Buffalo. And I think the AFC East, I think the Dolphins make a move here. I like the Dolphins. I really do. I can't take them over the Bills, obviously. You'll see the Bills a little bit later, but now I gotta have put some respect on the Dolphins, man. They're really doing some things. I think they're gonna put it all together here in a minute. So, what do you think about the Dolphins? You don't know? All right, so moving on then to 8, we got the Arizona Cardinals. This is where we will drop it off here. Not these Cardinals, not the St. Louis Cardinals, right? No, we're talking football. We're going to talk about the other Cardinals next. We got the Arizona Cardinals. We got Kyler Murray, James Conner. This team is really going to be good. The tricky thing is with being 8 is how long can they sustain without DeAndre Hopkins being suspended? Is it 6 games? Will serve a 6-game suspension. Yes, so he's suspended for 6 games. How do they look after that 6 games? But maybe that's why they pulled the trigger on Marquise Brown. So Marquise Brown, Randall Moore, A.J. Green, Andy Isabella, they got some weapons. So I don't know if I'm too worried about it. They just got to get the Kyler Murray deal done. Get these quarterback deals done and let them stop thinking about it. You don't want to go in the offseason thinking about it. But the offensive line was where it was kind of iffy with them. They brought in Will Hernandez from the Giants, who kind of took a step off. But since his first year, he was supposed to be a stud. But they're bringing in some pieces, so they are addressing the situation a little bit. Maybe see if they can figure this thing out. I think they're gonna be all right defensively. They're really putting some pieces together with Isaiah Simmons. What are you gonna get from J.J. Watt? We don't know, but Isaiah Simmons, Marcus Golden, with Budda Baker, and then Marco Wilson I like that pick. Marco Wilson from Florida to go along with Byron Murphy Jr. A lot of pieces. They did lose Chandler Jones, so that can be a. We'll see how that factors in, but. Yeah, this seems really good. And again, part of that tough division. So I have them slightly over San Francisco, and it's really hard to because I like San Francisco's defense, but no commodity at quarterback. You know what you're getting. That's what kind of separates teams from other teams. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the Cardinals do. We've kind of taken them as they have not reached that real legitimate contender status. They've been flirting with it, getting into the playoffs, but not really doing much. Haven't proved themselves yet, so we need a prove it season. We're in a prove it year, dude. So let's see what they can do. So so transition from one Cardinals to another Cardinals. Before we wrap this thing up for you guys, we're getting ready to go to a St. Louis Cardinals game.
Yeah.
Yes, St. Louis Cardinals game. So the past few games have been amazing. 7-6, 7-6, and the way the Dodgers have been playing, it's been a lot of comeback. They like to play comeback ball. They're like, I believe, second in the majors in come from behind victories. But what are your thoughts on this game? How's it going to turn out? Come over here.
I think it's going to turn out good.
You think so?
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win, Cardinals or Dodgers?
Cardinals.
You think the Cardinals are going to win?
Yeah.
Well, if I had to guess the scores, I'm going to say the score is going to be 7-6 because that's what the score's been the past 2 days. The Dodgers in the first game tried to come back. The Cardinals put it on early. They got an early lead, and then late, all the way to the ninth inning, Freddie Freeman hit a solo shot to bring them within one. They almost pulled it off. Again, last night we got all the way to the eighth inning. It was 6-2. They got all the way to the eighth inning. Seventh inning, I think they got a home run. And then eighth inning comes along, and here we go. They blown it. They were flirting with it. They couldn't get it the night before, and then they finally got it. They had gotten it tonight or last night. So it'd be interesting. Are we gonna? Hopefully, we just hope it's a thriller like it was the first game. And let's see who are we slated to pitch. So we got Dakota Hudson going against Tyler Anderson. Oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy. Cardinals did rough up. Now going back. The pitching for the Dodgers has been amazing. I just wanted to touch in on who was that? What was his name? That pitcher for rookie bag straight. Oh, Tony Gosselin. Tony Gosselin was, he was amazing. I mean, if you looked at his stats, I wish I had, let's see his stats. Before that, he 11-0, 2.02 ERA, man. That's his season stat. I mean, he's just dominant. And they got to him. So the Cardinals are not going to back down from great pitching because they took it to him. Tyler Anderson, he's 9-1. He's 9-1 on the season. But he's given up a little more runs, 3.15 ERA. To Dakota Hudson 6-5 with a 4.00 ERA. This will be a good one. Should be a really good game. We're really excited. We're getting ready to go. We'll be doing that tonight. Are we gonna be catching a? So come here. We catching a foul ball. Tell them what are we doing if we catch a foul ball? What were we doing?
When we're catching the ball. I'm gonna grab it, put my hand, and then put it in my glove again.
You're gonna keep it, right? If it's a Cardinals baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Terrell had said if we're gonna be in right field, so Terrell said if we're gonna catch a ball, he's gonna catch it and throw it back. And I was like, well, we don't want to do that if it's a Cardinals ball. We want to keep it.
Yeah.
So we revised our.
I was not gonna throw the Cardinals ball.
No. If it was the other team's ball. Get that ball out of here. We don't want no Dodgers home run ball. Get that ball out of here. We're sending the Dodgers ball back. We're not here. We're gonna get a hot. We gonna get a hot dog at the game.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a hot dog. We're gonna get nachos.
And some
Popcorn. Gotta have the popcorn. Yes, sir. So we are excited over here, man. This is gonna be fun. Fun night of baseball tonight. We're gonna go check this thing out. We're Cardinals all the way. Should be a fun one. If it's anything like the last few games, we're gonna be in for a good one. What do you want to leave them on with? Last note.
Hey guys, we're gonna do water balloons.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be water balloons. But so, anyways, that's something different. That's not gonna be at the baseball game. All right. So with that note, we're gonna wrap things up here, guys. We'll next episode we're gonna be talking about how that baseball game went. We'll catch you guys up on that. Let you guys know how that game went. Maybe Terrell stopped by. You want to stop by and tell me how the game was? Well, might have Terrell stop by. So check out that episode. He's going to tell us how that game went. Other than that, guys, love y'all. We'll leave y'all here. Love you guys. Have a great day, man. Hope y'all have a good one. Check it out. Peace.